is Miss Catapan. I'm going to do a short answer response to this extract that I've literally just found. I haven't read it. I simply copy and pasted the first section of it, which is around half a page, which will be around the same length that you will receive on Monday. I'm going to do a quick 2 paragraphs, and I'm hoping that it won't take me that long because I need to complete this very quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is read it through, and then after I read the question, I'm just going to make some quick first impressions that come to my mind. So this personal essay is titled 8 Ways I've Been Made to Feel About My Asian Eyes by Robin Wong. I'm 15, and for the first time in my life, a teacher calls me out on sleeping in class when I've been awake the whole time. I'm surprised it hasn't happened earlier because I'm sorry about the noise in the background, P.S. It's my dog playing. Okay, let's keep going. I'm surprised it hasn't happened earlier because kids have made fun of my eyes since preschool. Times are a-changing, I guess. I'm the only Asian in my class, one of 3 in my entire high school, and people bring it up all the time for the rest of the year. I get it. It's funny that our old-time kind of racist teacher thought I was sleeping because my eyes are small. My eyes aren't even that small. I'm 20, and sometimes my friend points out that my eyes disappear when I smile really hard. I think she doesn't mean it in a shitty way. I always forget that you're Asian, she's also said. But every time I hear it, it burns red hot in my brain for the rest of the day. I've learned enough to know that when I was 15 and people said it's funny because your eyes aren't even that small, they were also saying you don't look that Asian. I suspect this is the same kind of thing. Then I suspect that I'm doing a lot of introspection for a hang sesh with my friends. Okay, so then the question says, explain how the writer's construction of voice has revealed her attitudes. Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking straight away is, well, what is her voice? What does it sound like? So I'm just going to put voice. What does it sound like to me? All right, she sounds kind of annoyed. She has a bit of a sarcastic tone. She sounds a bit perplexed. And if you don't know what that means, maybe you should be getting a thesaurus. But she sounds a bit frustrated with how people see her. Now I need to think, okay, well, it's saying how the how the writer has constructed that. So now I'm going to think, well, how has she created that tone? How did I know that that was her tone? I guess I can think about, and so these are my stylistic choices. And I can definitely think about things like her lexical choice. I can think about the fact that she uses conversational and colloquial language. I can think about the fact that she brings up snippets of dialogue and selection of detail. So the anecdotes that she chooses as evidence. And I can also think about the thing that she kind of mentions in brackets. So she uses brackets as almost an aside. So we kind of read it in a different style. So they're the things that I'm just thinking of for how. So I'll just kind of highlight these things to remind myself. The next part is the next part, so how, construction of voice, and the last one is her attitudes. Okay, so what are her attitudes about this text? No, sorry, not about this text. Her attitudes about what's going on. Well, she's a little bit the same as this tone. So her attitude is that she's frustrated by her friends' I guess lack of understanding, and that she's almost made to feel guilty over her culture or her physicality of being Asian, and that it's kind of what we kind of call ingrained racism, or another word we could call it is accidental racism that we don't realize. Me and my friends call it, because we're super cool, is we call it, oops, casual racism. And I see this a lot in our society. So they are her attitudes. You will notice that this question didn't ask me for my response. But if it did ask me for my response, okay, so me, this is my last part, I'm going to think about what we discussed today in my class, which was what are my values, what is my perspective, and how do her attitudes line up with my own? You know, is she possibly, am I feeling guilty? Am I feeling, a sense of relatability? What is it? But just as I mentioned, this part isn't in the question, so I don't need to put that in my answer. Okay, so now I'm going to start writing my answer. I know that I want 2 topic sentences because I'm going to write 2 paragraphs. I know that my topic sentence needs to be an idea, not a stylistic choice, not a technique. So I'm literally just going to go through here and put this into a topic sentence idea. So I don't need to point out the title or the author or anything like that because it wastes time, and my teacher already knows that this is the extract I'm looking at. So I'm just going to get straight to it. So I'm going to start by saying this. And I wish I had some music that maybe I could put over at the time being while I'm doing this. But anyway, you'll just have to listen to my dog chewing his toy in the background. One of Wong's casual racism. Or actually, I might even use accidental racism. Okay, so that's what my first one is going to be about. Even though, hang on a second. Yeah, okay, that's all right, because then I can start bringing up the voice later. So, or I might even actually say one of Wong's attitudes I could also say, see, I realize how hard it is for you guys. An attitude expressed by Wong is that she is made to feel uncomfortable about her appearance by her friend's accidental racism. Okay. Through the construction of voice, she reveals an attitude of frustration and, in some parts, sarcasm. She has done this through the use of colloquial and conversational language. In essence, we are invited into her private thoughts, and by using such phrases as, let's see, hang sesh, what was the other one that she used? Kinda racist, or what was it? That our old kinda racist, so kinda racist. And the last one was something about being shitty. She doesn't mean it in a shitty way. And shitty. So in essence, we are invited into a proposal, and by using such phrases as hang says, kind of racist and shitty, we can infer that her perspective is one of a younger woman who is still struggling with her identity, and the fact that society does not seem to understand that by commenting on her eyes, they are in fact exemplifying racism. Okay, so I've talked about, okay, so then I need to kind of go back to, I've done my topic sentence, I've explored it a little bit, I've given some evidence, I've elaborated a little bit on there, and now I just need to kind of link it back so I can say therefore, or I might say thus. The construction of a colloquial and conversational tone and in her voice allows us to witness her attitude of frustration at her peers' lack of cultural sensitivity. Would be getting my white out there and making sure I did that right. Okay, so that's it. I don't have to go into detail. I don't have to give super long evidence here. All right, I've literally just used 3 pieces of evidence, but very short ones. I haven't gone into massive detail about what it was about. I didn't even repeat anything about, oh, this extract was about. I didn't say that. I've tried to bring up things such as perspective or the attitude. I've also talked about tone and also voice. So I'm trying to make sure I'm using the phrases or the actual concepts from the syllabus. My second idea, a further attitude explored by Wong is, what else did I say? She is sometimes annoyed or sarcastic. So a further attitude explored by Wong is that she feels isolated from her peer group, and at a larger sense, or in a larger sense, her community. Once again, Wong's construction of voice allows me to see her isolation, and that she is annoyed and at times saddened by this. Okay, so I'm going to now give some more that she feels. Okay, I'm going to give some more examples and what she did to do that. So how did she create that? I think that the use of anecdotes here, through her use of anecdotal evidence, Wong, such as I'm 15, and for the first time, also I'm 20 and sometimes I'm 20 and sometimes. And the final one I want to talk about is I'm doing a lot of introspection. I'm doing a lot of introspection for a hang sesh with friends. Through the use of her anecdotal evidence, such as I'm 15 and for the first time, I'm 20 and sometimes, and I'm doing a lot of introspection with friends, Wong provides us with evidence. Oh, I've used evidence there. Oh, I might need to think of another word. Provides us with evidence that allows us to see the repetition of, or to see the consistent casual racism she must encounter in her lifetime. By suggesting that she is introspective with friends, we understand that she feels she must hold her feelings inside, and therefore this use of anecdote is able to express her attitude that she feels isolated. I don't really particularly like this last part here. I'm a little bit like, oh, I could probably reword it, but I need to put my link in because I'm running out of time. So, Wong's construction of voice through her use of anecdotal evidence creates a sense of creates a sense of despondency? No, that's not the word. Creates a sense that she is affected by the words of others. Far out. I'm a bit stuck with this link. Okay, and so Wong's construction of voice through her use of anecdotal evidence creates, through her use of anecdotal evidence, embodies a sense of sharing a secret with her audience and allows us to witness, or I've already used witness, allows us to see her attitude of sadness. Oh, that's so bad. Oh. Okay, look, that's the time we've got. That's the time I've got. I'm not super happy with the my second body paragraph. We can have a look at this in class. You can have a look at it yourself. You could even mark it for me, what you think I've done. Let's get a marking key out. Let's have a look how well I've done. Thanks for watching. Oops. Okay, stop.